Sounds good.
All right, welcome back to Ladies of Golf, where we introduce you to women working in the industry and playing the game that we all love. Today I am speaking with Mackenzie Mack, who is Associate Executive Director at the First Tee of Tennessee in Memphis. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad that Josh connected us. The little AJGA connections keep me going, which is nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys work together?
We do, yes.
Nice.
He works in Nashville and I work in Memphis, but we're under the same umbrella.
Got it. Okay. And so is the First Tee, is that associated with like Tennessee Golf Association?
Yes. So in Tennessee, the Tennessee Golf Foundation kind of houses all of the chapters in the state.
Okay.
Which is great because we get that support from them financially, resources wise, just knowledge base 100%. So all 5 of the Tennessee chapters are all under the same. So we're all family.
Nice. That's awesome because you can kind of like pull resources, ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're here to talk about you today. So I just, want to kind of start more at the beginning, I read that you and your sister played a lot of different sports or activities before you guys landed in golf. But playing in your first tournament, like really gave you the competitive golf bug. I'm curious, like just how old were you when you started to play and maybe like what was it about competing that did it for you?
Sure. So my first tournament, I think it was about 9.
Okay.
So I had started about 7. So I had been on the range with the instructor for 2 years and he said, go play. And so my tournament was actually the first time playing. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, I showed up in jeans and a t-shirt. Like we had no clue what was going on.
Sure.
I actually placed. And so, it just was a new side of the game that I've never seen before. So I had never seen the course before. I'm like, well, this is way more fun than the range.
Oh my gosh.
And then I get a trophy. Like, this is great. So it seemed like a good day to me. So that's kind of when I wanted to keep going.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I feel like, I'm certainly everybody has a different journey with the game, but my experience was, doing a clinic and doing all the different parts of the golf course, learning what they are, and then heading to the golf course. But you just like went right into the fire.
we had no clue. Nobody really was there to tell us. My mom didn't play. Nobody in my family played. So we're just learning as we went. So it worked out.
I was going to say, it worked out to your benefit. That's fantastic. So does your sister still play?
She plays occasionally. So she's a lawyer out of Atlanta. So she played Division I golf as well. Okay. And she uses it for corporate outings. So she gets invited to every corporate outing because she's played golf her whole life. So she's really good. So she uses it for networking more than anything else. But we definitely have our family battles during Christmas time. And unfortunately, her record's a little bit better than mine. So that's always the issue between us two. And actually, I don't know if you can see all the way in the back, there's a newspaper clipping of us.
Yeah.
And because we played on the same high school team together because we're only 2 years apart. Okay. And in the article, she said that she always rooted me to be second. So she was always first. So
oh my gosh.
So we're very competitive with each other.
Yeah, but it was probably also nice to have that person to play with too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always knew that I had a playing partner. I always had her to come with me. And my mom would come and she'd be the commentator. And so she'll be like on the tee, and if you missed a shot, she'd like be smack talking. And the daughter that won is the favorite daughter for the day. So
oh my gosh.
So it's a whole thing. It's a whole
a little competitive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I mean, it teaches you good lessons. So it's good to have a competitive streak in you. So, okay, so then did you go on to play, you played college golf as well? And where did you play?
I played at Indiana State University.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I went to IU. So
Okay.
I was like, oh, she's Midwest. I know. It's a little different. But how was that experience?
It was great overall. I think going from Las Vegas to the Midwest was a change, especially in the weather. I think my freshman year, like playing in 30 degrees and like some snow days, there's many days that I looked at my coach, I was like, are you sure like you want me to go play today? Like, are you positive? And so I learned a lot being there. Indiana State was a great school to learn. They really treat their athletes well and help you in whatever you need. So it was like a family in the athletic department, and my team is great. I still talk to them to this day, all my team members, and I had a great time. I would go back tomorrow and do it all over again. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, so I didn't play a college sport, but I'm always like pretty envious of people who did. I think it's a completely different experience than what somebody who just, goes to school and does their thing. I think it's awesome.
It's a busy schedule that people don't realize sometimes. I always ask like the non-athletes on campus, I'm like, what do you do all day? Because I'm like jam-packed, like
right. Going from like appointment to appointment, class, practice. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It totally teaches you like time management, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to like, more of your professional career, I did read that while you were competing in high school, there was a competitor who actually refused to play with you because you're Black, as well as just some other incidents that to me were truly appalling. Like, frankly, this time in general certainly makes me look in the mirror and makes me evaluate my actions. But for you at such a young age, how did you handle incidents like that?
That particular incident was just, it catches you off guard. There's not much you can really do. Luckily, I had a coach there that kind of like had my back and kind of was the middle person between me and that family and that coach. So, but it was 45-hour long, discussion about how we're gonna play, why they can't play with me, all of these things. So unfortunately for me and other African American people, it just becomes the nature of the beast. So, my mom and the people around me it's almost like you kind of expect it or it's coming, so you kind of already have adapted to it. So unfortunately, that's really that's what systematic racism is, right? It becomes a norm. It becomes what's regular. And I think that's the scariest part about it, is that it becomes something that you're just used to. And hopefully that doesn't continue to be the norm, so the next generation isn't used to that kind of treatment. But you kind of just take it in stride and you just keep going, because you just know that that's just what's going to happen. So, I just knew that, one, I had to play and let my playing do the talking at that point. And I just knew that I had to beat her and the rest of the team. So like, that was just what it was on that particular day. Once my mom got wind of what happened, she of course took it to leadership and principals and school districts and all of that to make sure that it didn't happen again. So fortunately, I had adults around me that kind of could step in and let me continue to be a kid and play. But it just happens. It is what, I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, it happened, and you did everything you could to like take it in stride and continue to move forward, which is amazing. So did you ever have experiences like that once you were playing collegiately?
Collegiately, I had some subtleties. I think in golf, it's the subtleties. It was always people shying away from me, people not sitting at my table. So I sit by myself because they didn't want to sit next to me. Calling me Black girl instead of my name. Like, everybody else has a name, but I don't have a name. So it's little things like that that you go through, and all you can do is you confront it when you can and when it's necessary. But you just keep going. You got to
Yeah.
persevere.
And I think I read somewhere that you personally just took up really knowing the rules of the game and just kind of being like an expert of the game. So nobody could argue you. Nobody could say like, well, that's wrong. Because, nope, it's here, black and white. Like these are the rules of the game. This is what we need to do. And I thought that was such a smart approach to doing things, now, like, it's so cheesy, but knowledge is truly power, and clearly you harness that.
Absolutely. It didn't take me very long to learn. Like after a few outings that's one area that I needed to improve on to make me a stronger competitor and just hold my own out there. Right away I've had instances where girls have told me I could drop somewhere when that's not really where I can drop to set me up for failure. And so the more that you know, the more that you can kind of defend yourself and just make sure you're in the right position at all times. So yeah, the rules were my friend, and I just kept up on them. I still do to this day, even with all the changes they've been making. And I make sure that the junior golfers know too. It only helps you in the long run. It can't hurt you.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, do you kind of pass that on now to the kids that you mentor in the first tee?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every kid has a rules book, because I think it's important that they have a rules book. And I always tell them you don't have to know every rule, but you have to at least know where to find it, right?
Sure.
I don't think I know every single rule in the book, but I know exactly where to find the right answer for any questions that might come up, and that's what they need to know. And I always have one in my bag. I think everybody should have one, and I make sure my juniors do, especially when they play tournament golf.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's such a smart strategy, and just, prove to people that, you're doing things the right way along the way. So yeah. At what moment then did you kind of realize you wanted to play professionally?
I knew very young that I wanted to play professionally.
Yeah.
Loved the game. I loved everything that came with it, the competition, the friendships, um, just traveling. I traveled a lot as a child, playing junior golf, so that was a lot of fun. So why not make money doing it?
Yeah.
So it seemed like a great idea at a young age.
Sure.
So yeah, I wanted to play forever.
Yeah. And what processes did you go through to try to, have that as a career?
Well, playing a lot of junior golf events, AJGA, a lot of the getting ranked as a junior, but playing Division I golf was on the list too, because you want to be somewhere where you're going to be better after your 4 years, which I felt like I was after leaving Indiana State. I had a great coach who had played some tour events himself, so he had a lot of knowledge to share with me about it. And then I played some Q schools.
Okay.
Anymore, but it was Q school. So did some Q school when I moved out to Florida. Played some mini tour golf. Had some semester tour status, and tried my best to play.
Yeah. Would you ever want to try that again?
No.
No, you're like, I gave it a shot, and I found what I love. Yeah.
Playing professionally is very tough. So it's tough financially, it's tough mentally, it's tough, period. So I really commend all the players that are out there grinding it out every day to make it work. I had a great time those 3 seasons that I played, and met a lot of good people and got a lot of experience. Now I won't ever stop competing. There's plenty of events on within the PGA of America and within the LPGA Professionals.
Sure.
So I still compete and still play just full time. I don't think that's as fulfilling for me as what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And for those who don't really know what the first tee is, what would you explain to them that you are doing now?
So the First Tee is a nonprofit organization. It is a world organization who has about 138 chapters in the US and about 15 chapters outside of the US. And the whole mission is to impart life skills into the youth through the game of golf. So we use golf as the vehicle for youth development. So we're not just your regular sports agency in that the sport is not our sole mission or sole goal is to make them good golfers. We're trying to make them good people as well. So everything that we do incorporates our 9 core values and making them a better person. And if they become a great golfer, that's great. But we rather have good people that get through college and try to help them do that.
Is there like a certain player or a moment that, you know, really has stuck out to you in your career with the First Tee?
Like a participant, or because I've been a participant of the First Tee. I grew up in as well, so I've been
nice.
in the shoes, and I've been on the director shoes too. So
gosh.
Yeah, so
it's totally come full circle. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize. That's awesome. So of course it's like it's totally come full circle for you, and that must be so rewarding.
Yes, definitely. Like I'm still shocked some days because I still talk to my program director from Las Vegas, and I'm like, how did I become you? Like, how did this happen? So
that's awesome.
So memorable from being a participant. So I played in the First Tee Pebble Beach Open twice, and nice. One year I went to go tie my shoe, and Arnold Palmer sitting next to me on the bench, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, are you serious right now?
That's insane. How cool. How special. How old were you?
In high school. So end of high school, maybe sophomore, junior year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was fun. My mom was with me, so she's like, sitting next to you. So that was fun. And then as a director, probably my program director right now. So I'm associate executive director in Memphis. My program director that I have with me here is a past participant that I had in Tampa. And so I've seen him grow up in the program. And when I first met him, he wasn't even in the program, not kind of golfing, not golfing. I'm like, you need to come golf. Like, you're golfing, get over here. And so I've seen him go through high school and just really succeed. And he's going through the PGA program now, and just seeing him grow and seeing how golf really changed his life. And that really is important. That's what it's all about for me is knowing that we can change somebody's life for the better.
So, I volunteered this summer with girls golf in Toledo, Ohio, where I grew up, and teaching, the different lessons each week it was funny because the girls, some of them were so young, they didn't really understand it at the beginning. But then, by the end, they would kind of figure out what these words mean. What does empower mean? So it was cute to see it come full circle. But from your side of things, in your opinion, how do you think the lessons or the lessons, how do you see them kind of evolving as we evolve as people?
I think I see it evolving from each cohort of kids every year. Different things happen in their generations as they go. So respect, courtesy, confidence, that never changes. It's just the examples that we give that change, right? So maybe doing chores with the older generation might be something. This time it's like, okay, we need to turn off the video game. So it's more of the examples that change, not the core messages, because I think they're timeless.
Yeah, no, that's right. I completely agree and never thought of it that way. Yeah, they definitely are evergreen, but the examples will certainly change just because the things impacting our lives every day certainly change.
Yes. Trust me, I'm trying to keep up with my little ones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they'll like bring up
all the time.
Yeah, they'll bring up names of games or shows or music, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or they'll bring me like a bracelet, and I'm like, what is this? Oh, I love it. No, that's really interesting. What does the like, what does your chapter kind of look like? Where do the kids come from?
Our kids come from everywhere. So I do a lot of community partnerships.
Okay.
So Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, church groups, all of that. So a lot of them come from community organization partnerships. But my programs are open to anybody. So they can come from anywhere. We have multiple locations around town so that nobody has to drive super far to get to us and be part of the program. So they come from anywhere, and we're in a place where we don't have to turn anybody away for financial reasons. So everywhere, we want them to come from everywhere.
And what do you kind of see for yourself in, whether it's with the first tee or working in the game of golf?
See as in what?
Like see for your future, like where would you like to see yourself? Yes.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I just want to continue to make an impact, as much impact as I can, and on as many people as possible. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I think as I keep going, it keeps evolving. So I'm open, and just wherever the need is, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. No, I think that's wonderful. And I think you're probably at the right place at the right time and happy with what you're doing. So
yeah, absolutely. As long as there's a need for change and impact, and I'm there. I want to do it. It doesn't matter how hard it is, or if it's people say it's tough. I want to be there because I think every kid deserves an opportunity to play the game and have everything that it has to offer. It's done so much for my life, so I want them to have that same opportunity, whether they want to do it or, continue on the same path or not. I just want every kid to at least have the opportunity to participate.
I love it. And that's what, First Tee is a fantastic program. So yeah, I'm sure you feel that you're in the right place for the moment. Yeah. Well, so for the ladies, our program teaches young professional women how to play golf. So maybe they didn't learn as a junior, they weren't open to it, and now they would like to learn. So I know you do work with juniors a bit, but every question I like to ask a participant is, what advice do you have for young professional women who would like to pick up the game?
My advice is to grab a friend and find a golf professional. I think that is the key. What I found is that women that grab a friend and come out usually love it, stay with it, and have a great time. I do a lot of lessons with ladies, and that seems to be what works. And also my advice for professional women is you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not playing this game, because everybody in your office, executives, they play this game, and that's where they hang out. That's where they build relationships. And if you're not there, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I recommend that you pick up the game, learn. You will be invited to every golf outing because the ladies get to play from the forward tees. None of the men can putt as well as we do. So you will be an asset to the team. I just say take that next step and come on out.
Yeah, and where would you recommend, because I think this is one of my bigger questions sometimes that I keep receiving during COVID, is like, where should women look to find a PGA professional?
Sure. So you can go to the PGA.com has PGA directory, so you can look for someone specifically in your area. Also, the LPGA has a website as well, LPGA Women's Network, where all of it's focused on professional women, keeping them in the game. They have trips, they have clothes, they have everything on there that you would need to get started, continue, meet friends. So I would definitely recommend that because it's focused for that demographic.
Perfect. That's a perfect answer. I appreciate that. It's been such a funny time, like with the pandemic, people are looking for those outdoor activities, and clearly golf has been the benefactor of that. So it's nice to see. Like, I love seeing my inbox filled with like, where should I learn or where should I go play? So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to see golf going in the right direction and people enjoying it, and it's safe and it's good exercise and it's good time to meet people. And you can meet somebody every time you go to the golf course, somebody new. So it's a great way to kind of social distance, but be social.
Yes. 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 Well, thank you so much for your time today and answering a few of my questions. But if somebody's looking for you, do you have any like social media or a website that they could go to?
Absolutely. So I have my personal website, MackenzieMack.com. I have Instagram, Mackenzie Mack Golf, Facebook. I have Twitter, but Twitter's a little fast for me. So
it's fast for me too. Way too fast.
So I have that. I'm wherever you need me, I am there. First Tee of Tennessee in Memphis. You can go to that website. My email's on there as well. I'm on the PGA website. I'm on the LPGA website too if you're looking for instructors, and I do respond. I think it's important to respond. So I do respond and love to help. So please don't hesitate to contact me. No question is too small. And I'm here to help.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll have some people reaching out really soon, but thank you for the time. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks for having me.